Welcome to Pretty Strong, brought to you by Slack Alice, a platform where women share their stories, where we engage, where we talk about everything that is relevant and relatable. We want to welcome our special guest today, our brand ambassador, Thato Moeng.
Yes, finally got it right.
Thank you so
for
much.
having me. This is really great to be on the very first episode. I'm a bit nervous, but yeah, man, this is really, really cool.
But
Tracy.
how often have you been in that position? Because you're always in this seat.
I do get to be interviewed time and again, but I will be honest, I usually refuse.
Do you?
Yeah, because it's nerve-wracking.
So it's more nervous being in that seat than being the person who's doing the interviewing?
Yeah, because sometimes you start thinking about, what am I going to say? Is my life really that interesting for people to actually want to know about it? But funny enough, over the past couple of interviews I've done, you've learned that, hey, there are some people actually don't know you and maybe might just get some insight into your life and it might just change their lives. So yeah. I'm still nervous though.
You're still nervous, so please don't be nervous. We just want to have, again, easy conversations, just a chat, woman to woman.
Yeah.
I think it's what's needed. We in a similar industry, so, we in sport.
Yeah.
You a sports journalist, and I think, everyone knows who you are because you are just everywhere right now, which I think it's amazing what you're doing for women. You aspiring, you encouraging, you just for all ages. People look at you and you're relatable. And everything about Slack Alice has to be either relevant or it needs to be relatable. We need to be able to relate to what someone is going through as women. And I think that's at any age. What I've also come to realize, I'm in my 50s, I'm 56 this year, is that being older doesn't make you wiser. Now, I know some stupid woman in her 50s, but it's what you go through. What do you go through and what do you learn from that? And that's what brings wisdom. So I'm always looking at anyone who can inspire me. Age is not relevant to me. If you're in your 20s and you've gone through stuff, I'm ready to listen because maybe I can learn from you.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not as smart as I think I am and I need to calm down on some stuff. And so I think that is who you are. So my question to you is, we know why we wanted you to be our brand ambassador because we feel you are relevant. You are definitely relatable. But why did you say yes to Slack Alice?
First of all, I said yes to Slack Alice because I really like a lady called Tracy Lee Pepper, and I'd had noted the work that she had done over the years, which already stood out. So, Tracy, you've always been a person who goes beyond boundaries and you're not going to be boxed. And I think that spoke to me because I'm not a cookie cutter kind of girl. And Slack Alice was such a cool brand. And I was like, okay, I'm a woman, I'm a mom, I'm active, sport is my life. Let me go and try and have a nice little marriage with this cool brand that I think is going to change the face of how we as women also look at ourselves. And the moment I said yes was great. And then we went on the photo shoot and I got to see the apparel. And I was like, damn, this is some really cool stuff. And like the top that you're wearing, my sister and I fight over it.
Really?
Yeah, we do. And she basically said to me the one day, she's like, dude, what do you know about clothes that slap? I'm like, slap? She's like, yeah, Slack Alice slaps. I'm like, okay, great. And like you're saying, it was really nice to see a 19-year-old relate to clothing and really, really like how they look. I like how the clothing looks. And it's really also cool to walk around with Slack Alice and everyone's asking me, what is that? What is that? What is that? And it's actually mostly the gentlemen.
Wow, really?
It's mostly the gentlemen, especially with the hats. They're always asking me, okay, where did you get that? I'm like, no, go through to the website.
Yes.
Where did you get that? Go through to the website. So I like the fact that Slack Alice, again, breaking boundaries, not in the box, liked by everyone. And it's really cool. It's really, really cool.
So, we talk about you and your crazy life because You really do. I don't know how often you are away. All I know is that I watch a lot of football.
Yeah.
And you on every game, every show just about. And they're not all in Joburg. So clearly you are traveling.
Yeah.
I think of multitasking. I think of maybe not doing two things at the same time. Like sitting here talking to you, but I'm busy on my phone. It's more about like all the different aspects that we are called to do as a woman. And maybe, so you are a multitasker because you are a career woman.
Yeah.
You're a wife, you're a mom. So in what order are you?
I think I'm a classic multitasker, and I can multitask all the time.
Really?
Yeah. I think working in television for so long also teaches you to somehow decompartmentalize your brain, if that isn't even is a word, but being able to focus on different things at the same time. So even if I am at work during a game, there will be a time when I'm sending a WhatsApp to make sure that Thando has chowed her food. Before I go to work, I have cooked supper already, and everyone's already chowing before I go to work. So you do learn to multitask, and then you also have to almost plan and prepare.
Yeah.
Because if I know that I'm going to Cape Town tomorrow, I need to make sure that there's someone to look after Thando. You always need to organize your life. Is my husband going to be around? Then there are times when the world of football and television just decides, oh, stop your life. This is where the tap stops.
Yes.
And can you be at work in an hour? Excuse me? In an hour? Yes. And then you have to make plans. So I think they always say you can't be a master of none, jack of all trades, and all that stuff. But just have to do the best you can with what you have at hand.
There's no, I'm this first. You are all encompassing.
Yeah.
Like you put everything together and you all encompassing in that. What I love, I remember one of the first conversations we had, your husband's a CA, correct?
Yeah.
And you said to me that he is just like so not in awe of what you do. Like he's just so switched on. If you get
He
stopped,
doesn't watch football, doesn't like football, doesn't watch rugby, nothing to do with sports. I'll try and have a family outing. Let's go to the stadium. He gets bored. So now I've resorted to going to the stadium with my daughter and my sister because he doesn't go to games. Hey, Liffy, did you see me on TV today? No, what were you doing? Did I look not? Did I say that? No.
I wasn't watching.
No. But it's not just my husband. I think it's with most of my family. And
Really?
I actually like it that way.
Okay.
Because I then get to leave all of that behind. And when I get home, I am just simple Thato that they know every single day, that they're with every day. They know what pisses me off. They know that, ooh, she left work and that person said that she's going to come back really angry. People outside would never know, but I think I appreciate that because they then become almost like the tonic to my life, the balance. And it just also brings me back down home because
doing grounds you.
They ground you. Because doing television is also quite a big adrenaline rush, and you need something to get you out of that headspace, where you're not someone who's above everyone. You need to sometimes be brought back down to earth.
So do you ever have a date night with your husband?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah,
so you believe in date nights?
Definitely. We do date nights, well, when we can. So we try to do date nights, can't do date nights. So then we do it around football season and international break. So when it's international break, then we'll try and go away somewhere to Mpumalanga, to the northwest or something for a weekend. But we really make sure that we try and spend as much quality time as we can, because we also do know that I don't get much quality time. A weekend is a luxury in my life. So if I happen to have a weekend that's off, we're not going to sit home and just go to Pick and Pay.
Yeah.
No.
Pick and Pay.
No.
A trip to Pick and Pay.
No,
it's our date.
No. We're going to definitely do something special. Try spend time with Thando as well, because it is a bit taxing to her because, like you said, I travel a lot. So she's 5 years old. The last time I was here for her birthday, she was 2.
Wow.
And every single birthday I'm away. I'm not away on her birthday exactly only the date. No, I'm away for like a month. So it does become a bit taxing. She never has birthday parties
I remember, like in Egypt, you were in Egypt for a month.
for a
were
month,
you not?
and it was her birthday. So she never has birthday parties.
Does she know this yet? Like, does she know really what you do and why you're doing this? Like,
No, she does. She does. I think after bawling her eyes out a couple of times, she's had to understand. And I like the way she also uses it, where now she'll ask, so in Russia, what language do they speak? So when you were in Russia at the World Cup, how many teams were there? So I find it quite nice that she's getting interested. On Sunday, we went to the Super Sport United Sundowns game. She loves Super Sport United. That's her favorite
wow,
team.
really?
But I think she only likes Super Sport United because she knows where her bread is buttered.
Okay.
And then so she made 1 + 1, and then it equals 2.
Realize.
But yeah, she does understand. When I was in Egypt, she was asking me about the pyramids. So I also try and make sure that I prepare her before I leave, and show her pictures of where I'm going, where it is. So she kind of understands that I'm going very, very far away, but I'm going to be back. And these are the presents you can get.
That's a good one. These are the presents you get when I come back. What do you want?
So unfortunately, sometimes as a parent like that, you do have to buy them favor here and there. But I also do realize that my child is in a special situation.
Yeah. So now tell me, so I was told about your first interview at Supersport.
Okay.
And how you came to the interview, and who said we need to hire this girl for the job.
Yeah. Who you been speaking to?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do remember going to Supersport that day, and I didn't want to go at all because I had wanted to work at Supersport, and they had not called me back when I wanted to work there. And I'd given up, essentially, because I tried so hard to get this job. And 2 years later, I get a phone call sitting at the YFM office, and they were looking for female presenters for this new show. They didn't say who it was with or whatever. And I remember telling my friend Len, and I said, Len, nah, it's not for me. Just because they now want me. I mean, I wanted them, you know, like a really bruised and battered ex. And then so I knew that the interviews were getting done at 3. It was 2:30. YFM was at Hyde Park. I was really looking like I work in radio, if that's any way to explain it. You know, I was really looking like I work in radio. I mean, hello, no one's going to see me today.
Exactly.
Caught a taxi, went to Supersport. I was filthy. I then got to Supersport, and I got there, and there was a room of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. Stunning women.
All ready to be interviewed.
Stunning, beautiful women. They looked confident, and I went into a sweat even more. And I was the last one there, and then I got into the studio, and it was Robert Moran. And I'm 30, the greatest broadcaster in the whole entire world. And yeah, I did the audition. I didn't think I got the job at all. So when they called me back, I was quite shocked. I won't lie, I was quite shocked, but also very excited about the new chapter in my life. I knew I could do it. I personally knew that when I did the audition, this is right up my lane. This is really something I like, but I wasn't sure if they liked me. So it was really nice to almost get that validation that as dirty as you were that day,
they still saw something. But was it Robert Marawa that saw something in you that other people did not? Or was it a general consensus, like we need this girl?
I don't know, because I wasn't there during everyone's secret meeting, you know. So for
But
me,
at the end of it, when you got your job,
when I got the job, I just got a phone call, and Tuesday we had a meeting, and it's a show.
oh wow,
Yeah. No, there wasn't any. Okay, now let's talk about the next time we then met was the Tuesday before the Thursday.
wow.
And then we went on TV the Thursday.
And how old were you?
Jeepers, I don't remember. 21, 22.
Wow. And you've
Around
been there ever since.
10 years, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a
Yeah.
good story.
I suppose.
I just feel like it's, look,
Go to your auditions
yes,
looking crass and nasty.
yeah, looking your worst.
Yeah. But it really was a lovely journey because I had worked in TV before, but this was different. This was exactly what I wanted to do. This was the cream of the crop of the sporting world. And I'd done sports and radio for so long. And I was looking for that next step. I needed the next challenge. And this was right up my lane. And even when you take a look at how the show was designed, it was sportainment. Because sport is entertainment. And I then get to do it with one of the greatest broadcasters in South Africa. So for me, it was an opportunity to learn and just soak in all of this and like really, really learn. Don't get there and get started and be like, oh my gosh, it's Robert Morao. No, literally learn and look how he does things. And I think that opportunity is something that I wish a lot of people had. And I hope a lot of people get to get in their lifetime if they ever have that dream. But boy, oh boy, it was a wonderful ride.
Wow. So
Yeah.
where does Thato go next?
Well, Thato then, as like I said, doesn't like to be boxed. Doesn't like to be boxed. But with regards to my broadcasting career, I feel like I've always wanted to go the extra mile. I've always felt that I'm very creative. And for me, I'm still in front of the camera. I still love camera work. But I think I've got a deeper love also for television and broadcasting. So it's more to now be a creative and also get involved in creating those stories that people watch and getting more hands-on and not just being the face that people see every day, but now really get creative and being involved, producing, directing and so forth. So I think that would be really cool.
So would you see yourself like putting your own show together, producing
Oh,
something
yeah, definitely.
where you feel like there's maybe a missing link? Do you think there's a missing show?
There's tons of them. I've been a producer before, but it was mostly for children's shows. So that also doesn't give you much of a challenge. And because I've been so heavily involved at Supersport, even with Thursday Night Live with Marawa, we were intricately involved. You got to feel like, I want to do more of this, you know, because I also feel like because we are so close to the players, the coaches, we're so close to the fans and this world. Most of our producers and the people who are creating television, unfortunately, most of the time, are sitting in front of a screen, editing and cutting, or sitting in an office making concepts. Whereas we know the people. So for me, it's just, I'm really excited about thinking about creating shows that the people want because we get to spend time with the people. Creating shows for footballers, creating shows for coaches, you know, so it's actually mind-boggling. It's exciting.
So do you see more, like, would you like to see more women being empowered and involved in your industry, or do you feel women are being given equal opportunity to be presented in your industry?
Tracy, I mean, when I started with television, I started at YoTV. And that was basically all that was given to the ladies, you know. Oh, go do sport for the kiddies show, you know, and let the big boys do the big shows on Supersport. But at that time, we also only had Carol Manana then and Cynthia Chaka, who were female sport broadcasters. It's 2020. And there's a lot of us. For me, I feel like knowing that I only had two women who were inspiring me at the time, and of course the likes of Cass Naidoo who was doing cricket, but those were the only ones who were there. And that was my only springboard that I had. For someone who's coming up right now, you've got Thato, you've got Carol, you've got Castle, you've got Julia, you've got Mpo, you've got Lindiwe, you've got Mutsidisi. I'm literally not even naming all of them. I'm not even naming all of them. And that already gives me a feeling that even though there's still a long way to go with regards to being equal in the workplace, being treated the same, but boy, oh boy, have we made leaps and bounds. And if we don't look at the positives and continue complaining, unfortunately, you will not see that the door has been opened. Now it's for you to kick it open, you know, and that's all we were waiting for a little smidgen of light, and it's there. All we have to do now is really bust up the door open and make sure that at some point in time we're all equal in that workspace.
You know, Slack Alice was born out of telling stories, and hence Pretty Strong came along, where some days, you know, we are pretty strong, and as I've mentioned a few times, and some days we're not. So with Slack Alice, we want to empower women, and it's all about women, but it's also about supporting and celebrating men who support women. So do you feel that in your industry that you've had to work harder? And this is not about bashing men.
Yeah.
It's just a reality. Do you feel like you've had to work harder than your male colleagues to get to where you are, or do you feel like you've been fairly treated?
That would be if we lived in Disneyland and I was Cinderella and there was a glass slipper somewhere there. I'd be lying if I said that it hasn't been hard. I'd honestly be talking nonsense if I said that I've had to work 20 times harder, and I still, till today, have to work 20 times harder. There are instances where you're literally interviewing a coach and he looks like, I've actually had a coach asking me, where's the presenter?
Oh, you are. Wow.
And that's okay.
And how do you handle that?
No, that's okay, because...
So what do you say? I'm
the presenter, and you present yourself. And these are the things that then make you realize that because there's a smidgen of light, you then have to kick the door even harder, so that whoever's coming behind me does not have to work as hard as I do. But there also have been men in the industry who have been pushing and supporting us tirelessly. Unfortunately, they're alone. You know,
then they've got no one to back them.
But we've had to work harder, of course. I think in South Africa, in general, as a black woman, no matter what industry you're in, you just have to take 20 steps more than anybody else. But the glory is even greater when you realize that I've taken 20 steps and I've superseded anyone's perception. Yeah,
which is amazing. I mean, you say that it's interesting about you being a black woman in South Africa that has to work harder. I remember being on level 3 when I did my pro license, and I remember the director of education at SAFA. He said to me, he was not South African, and he said to me, the day that we arrived on course, because it was a 6-month course, away for 2 weeks, back home for a couple of days, and on and off for 6 months. And he said to me, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. He said, you are a white woman in this industry. He said, I'm telling you now, you're going to have to work harder. And there was one black female coach with me. So there were only 2 women and 35 men. He said, you are going to have to work harder than anyone on this course. Yeah. Because of your color and because you're a woman. Yep. And he was not wrong. Like, I got stopped at every turn. Every time I tried to do something, I would get stopped, but mainly by the instructors. So straight, like my colleagues, my fellow coaches were so supportive of me. Yeah. They were, you know, we were just this circle of people, and we really needed to stick together, even though they were all men. But that was kind of what was said. Yeah. This is who you are, and just know that you are going to have to prove yourself daily, and you're going to have to work so hard. And I failed. I failed 2 subjects. They failed me twice, and you can only write the exam 3 times. And I actually questioned the instructors, and I just said, this is not okay. And you know what their answer to me was? I said, why is that coach passed? Because I know my training session was better than his, and I'm allowed to question it. And they said, he is already a PSL coach. He is already a national coach. So we can't fail them. But you know, you're a woman. You can learn still. You've got babies to go look after. You've got a husband who can take care of you. Exactly. And those were the answers I got. And so again, not bashing men, because I and you alike are fortunate that we are still surrounded by great, amazing men. And we need to talk about those men. Yeah. But it's also just important for women that are watching to know that they're not alone if they've experienced any form of, being put down and you're not good enough and you got to do this and being squashed, they're not alone. We've been through it. You've been through it. I think every woman at some point has experienced that, and we just got to, like you say, we've got to kick those good doors down. We've got to rely on the support of the men that do support us, and we've got to celebrate the men that support us, and then celebrate each other as women.
And it's also not a bad thing, because I think one misconception about women also is that it doesn't mean I'm the strongest woman ever. I mean, I still go home and have a good cry.
Yeah.
After that good cry, I put on my mascara and I look damn good, that's for sure.
And you feel good.
And I feel great.
Because it's okay.
But it's really okay to shed a tear here and there, because once I finish crying, move away, because now I've sorted out my nonsense. I'm coming for you. But I think most importantly is that not to put out the notion that because we're women, we then have to put up with nonsense. You don't. Because you're a woman, it doesn't mean you have to also face a lot of abuse at work. No, you don't. That is not right, because you're still a human being. It doesn't also mean that you have to be stronger and have thick skin than everybody. You can actually do it. Cry a little bit and then you'll be fine. But it's about, if you see a smidgen of light, make sure you kick that door, because you just don't know the possibilities that are out there. They're endless.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I love what you say. Mine's a good cry and some wine. But I know exactly what you're saying, that women need to know that it's okay to cry. It's okay to have a moment, like that emotional moment, and it's not a weakness. It's just you're just being human, and it's okay to do all that.
Yeah.
So what is your advice? I mean, it's been amazing to talk to you, and we can literally talk for days.
Hours.
and that's just how I think our personalities are. From the time we've met. That's, we both chatters.
That is very true.
So we literally could chat for days. What would your, advice, what would you say? Like, you talking to Thando, what are you saying to every Thando out there, every young girl, in fact, not even age related, just talk to any woman, every woman that is watching, and like, what would you say to them?
It's actually quite simple. Unicorns are real, rainbows are real, your dreams are real, go get it. It's that simple. You only have one life, one opportunity, and don't waste it sweating the small stuff. Go create that world you've always wanted to be in. It's yours. It's honestly yours. It's just waiting for you to come grab it. Whatever dream or opportunity you've always wanted, it's just waiting for you, and you wasting its time.
I love that. You're wasting its time.
Yeah, not your time, it's time.
I love that. Thank you so much
for
being with us today and having this conversation. I don't like to call it, it's certainly not an interview. It's just girls chatting and having conversations and sharing our stories and sharing it with everyone else that's watching. And I appreciate your time, because I know you are the craziest, busiest person, or crazy, busy, not crazy. Or are you crazy
I am
and busy?
crazy and I am busy. And right now I'm going to go sit at school and pretend like I've been such a great mom the whole day waiting for this lovely meeting. But how much school fees I have to pay.
Aren't they the best?
I'm really excited.
So exciting. I remember those days. So glad I passed them. So thank you so much for joining us. That is us for this very first episode of Pretty Strong, brought to you by Slack Alice, where women are sharing their stories and having easy conversations. Until next time, bye-bye.